I'm sure that President Benson, and I know before the meeting he had many friends here, he probably needs not much of an introduction to many Rotarians. He is well known in the Denver, Colorado community as a successful businessman in the oil and gas business. He's been a leader in a wide range of educational, civic, and educational arenas throughout Denver State. In 1978, he became involved as the chairman of a great number of educational activities, including statewide task forces, member of the Board of Trustees of Metropolitan State College, and most recently Governor Ritter's P20 Education Coordinating Council. He's been a long-time champion and supporter of CU. He and his wife Marcy were the co-chairs of a national program to raise $1 billion for the university and its 4 campuses over a period of several years. He is a recipient of a number of awards and recognitions by the university based on his support and tireless efforts on his behalf. And I'm just advised recently he's now made a member of the Colorado Business Hall of Fame. So he's done lots of things. He's a very busy man. He was appointed as the 22nd president of the university in February. He's hit the ground running and been very busy ever since. He's here today to discuss the progress that's been made in CU, its role and participation in the state's economy and its life, and the challenges that Colorado faces, the university faces. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Bruce Benson.
Can you hear that? Well, it works. Well, first of all, I'd just like to tell you thank you so much for having me come today. And I would just tell you how much fun I have going to Rotary clubs. And we've been traveling the state for the last 9 months, and every place we go to Rotary clubs, or not every place, but many, many Rotary clubs. And I just love the camaraderie and the friendships that you guys show to each other, and I think it's America, and it's just wonderful to see that. So I appreciate it and appreciate being here. I'm going to say a little bit more about my and Pete, thank you for the introduction. And I'm going to say a couple things about my good wife, Marcy. She's a very accomplished person in her own right. She ran the White House Fellows Program, a very exclusive program in Washington, D.C. for 2 different presidents. She came out here and hit the ground running too, and she's worked in a lot of volunteer organizations, probably most notably is Children's Hospital, where she co-chaired the drive to raise $272 million and move it out next to our Anschutz campus. And she's been on all the different boards and lots of other boards around town. So I will tell you, I'm very fortunate to have her my partner in everything I do, and I stress everything I do. And she goes to almost every one of these speeches. Sorry, honey. And but she really is accomplished, and the university was very fortunate to have her. So let's one more time for my little wife, Marcy. As long as you guys like to tell stories, maybe I'll just tell one to start with. And we heard about football players, and so one of my jobs I found out after I got here is to go out and talk to football recruits, during halftime or games, whatever. And so I'm talking to this one kid, and he's sitting with a basketball player. And I said, "You a basketball player?" He said, "No." "Well, what do you think I am?" I said, "Well, you're a football player." He said, "Well, that's right." He said, "Well, what position do you think I play?" And I said, "Well, quarterback, of course." He looked at me and said, "Well, how do you know that?" And I said, "Listen, you go to this school, I went to this school. You'll be just as smart as I am. You're going to be able to figure that stuff out." So then we went out a little more, and I said, "So how's your record?" And he said, "Well, we're 3-1, and he started explaining why they lost this one game and all this stuff." And I said, "So how many touchdown passes did you throw in the last game?" And he said, "Oh, I threw 3. And I said, "Don't even apply here. You can't make it." And poor kid looked at me, and then he starts laughing. So it's kind of fun doing these kinds of things. You talk to these kids, you talk to the parents, and one time we were walking away, and Elizabeth always goes with me. And this isn't about me, this is about the office of the president. And this one mother said to another mother, "Do you know that was the president of the entire university that came down here to see us?" So it's important to go out and do these sorts of things. Now, I'm going to tell you a little, talk about the university, and then hopefully we'll have a little time for questions. I'm just going to tell you that I think we're really doing well. We're on firm footing. Things are working very, very well. other than one thing, and that's our state support. And you'll hear me talk about that a little more as we go on here. And this is because of our improved reputation. It's something we all work very hard on, is to make sure our reputation is stellar. And it's up here all the time. And we've had problems in the past, but we really have done a great job at the university. And I say we, because there are a lot of people involved in making that happen. And you can see that the public confidence is really back. And it shows up in a couple of things I'll mention in a moment. But I have a policy, and I've always had this in business. In the oil and gas business, if I drilled a well, and I get my acres together, I share my information. I think you should do that. You should be open and transparent, work with everybody, and you should do that in all walks of life. And this is a discussion I've had with past leaders of this university, is get out and tell people what's going on, and I keep saying no more secrets. When I got here, I found out that our staff kept secrets from each other. And I opened it up in one of our meetings with the 10, 12 top people, and I said, okay, what do you do? What do you do? And somebody said, well, I didn't know you were doing that. I'm doing this. So we get rid of these secrets, and I say the same thing when we're out in public. And we talk to editorial boards. I love to tell these guys this, and it usually gets a good laugh out of them. I said, if I got a secret from you, and you know I got a secret, you know what? You're going to come out, you're going to try to figure out that secret. And then you're going to screw up, you're going to get it wrong. And then I got a big time problem to straighten this mess out. So that's the way we operate. So it's both internal, external, and it's transparency, and it's something else I'll talk about more. It's fixing problems as soon as they come up. So the other thing I'll press the regents to do is have public comment at their meetings, and they're all going, oh my Lord, how many people are going to get up? They're going to talk forever and on and on. We opened it up last meeting. One guy got up and he said, thank you so much for opening us up so we can have public comment. Thank you. Went and sat down. That's our only comment. But the point is, we're there and we're ready to hear what they have to say. And I think that's really important. And sometimes it gets a little tough listening to some of it, but you try to keep it short. I said a little bit about our reputation, some of the things that it shows up in. And one is in our enrollment, largest, most diverse, most highly qualified freshman class we've ever had at all of our campuses. As far as fundraising, take a look at this. Fundraising, I'm going to stress, is a lot of hard work, and that's for the foundation people like Connie here, or other folks in the university, chancellors, presidents, all throughout, faculty. They work really hard at this. But we've gone from 60 million to 133.5 million to 161.5 million in the last 3 years. So that's quite a record. And I meet with people and donors all the time, talking with them, and they are feeling good about the university, and they want to help the university. So public confidence again. Our research, we set another record last year, $661 million worth of research. About 85% or so of that comes from the federal government. Again, confidence in what we're doing. So this is what's showing up in how we operate our university. Now the big problem we have, and I'll touch on this off and on, and that is funding. And it's a big problem for all of higher education. We are 48 out of 50 states in funding for higher education. Colorado is. And that's pitiful. It is just horrible how much funding we get. And you'll see, if you read it's the op-ed today in the Post where we're talking about funding. So I urge you to read that. And I'll mention in a moment another op-ed we've got coming out. Now, I like to talk about the fact I'm a businessman. I've never been president of the university before, but I believe in business practices. And I believe in preventive maintenance. I figure out, fix your problem before it happens or as quick as it comes up. So, first thing I said when I got here was, okay, let's talk about the kids that we're bringing in. I want to read the applications. I want to see whether or not we're going to catch kids we really don't want in our application process. We've changed the applications, so I think we're going to be a little more careful on how we screen and how careful we are on who comes into the university. One of the other things I asked is there any common thread? And the answer was yes. Marginal, out-of-state students generally come in, we'll just call out rich kids, and they have a lot of fun and they get in trouble academically or disciplinary-wise. So